Welcome, ladies and gents, to another must-see podcast from the PWC. It is all about Monday Night Raw, and it's the review show by yours truly, your mother's favorite podcast of ours. And yeah, what a good show we had for you. Surprisingly, I know I say this every week, Raw always has one or two good shows and then just slaps a whole bunch of horrible shows. But you know what? The go-home show on Raw, it was good, man. It was good. You know what I'm saying? It was good. Yeah, it was good. That was a good show. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly got into it. I was there, and of course, it is Monday Night Raw, so there are just a few things that always just, you know what I mean? But let's not dwell on those. In fact, we're going to dwell on them a little bit later on. But if you haven't done so already, please click subscribe, click the bell, get notified, and tell your parents, grandparents, lovers, haters, whoever you like to come on to the PWC and check us out. Let's get to the Monday Night Review. And Monday Night kicked off with a recap of what happened to RK Bro last week, where Randy Orton turned his back on his partner, saying they're not going to have a reunion. This is a once-off thing. It's done. Randy works better by himself. And he came out and he basically just basically said everything he wanted to say. Riddle came out to say, listen, he understands and he wants him to learn. That's why he did this. I guess a good little spin on it. Before we could have any more interaction, AJ Styles and Omos came out. The two of them trash talked. The four of them all there. And we landed up having a match between AJ Styles and Riddle. Randy Orton left Riddle alone in the ring, and they had their match. It was a good match. Ended with AJ getting the victory, and then having Omos beat the hell out of Riddle as well. So that was something interesting. Good opening segment. I enjoyed it. I thought everything about it was fun. The promo, I know it's very, very Raw-like to have a promo right at the start of Raw every week, but this one was fun. It was, it answered the questions it needed to answer, and we got that Randy Orton is done with RK Bro. It's not gonna happen. So it was fun. It was entertaining. Let's say that at least. We moved on then to yet another inspirational backstage promo from Nikki ASH. And, it's literally the same spiel every single week. But anyway, it was getting ready for her match against Rhea Ripley. And, remember I said at the top of the show, there's some boring bits. This was one of them. It wasn't their best match they've had. There were some good, close calls, but it wasn't, over the top great, and I think they're holding back a little bit maybe for the triple threat at SummerSlam, sorry. The ending was a bit of an odd one. Nikki ASH took the loss of their clean riptide from Rhea Ripley, and then afterwards we had Charlotte Flair busy mocking them, and then, Nikki ASH lost it and started attacking Charlotte. Then Rhea joined in and started attacking Charlotte. They beat them together, and then she escaped, and then they said, oh, well, that's it, and then apparently Nikki and Rhea are friends in sort of this situation. They're also opponents at SummerSlam. And it's set up for a tag match later on in the evening, apparently. That happened. It was going to be Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH taking on Charlotte Flair and an unknown opponent. That's all I can say about that one. I don't even know where to start in the next one. It's the storyline that just won't die. And hopefully it dies at SummerSlam. We had a handicap match. It was Veer and Shanky taking on the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre. And it was basically a glorified squash match like everything has been in this rivalry at the point. It was a little bit more competitive, I guess, than the last few matches individually. But, of course, McIntyre picked up the win after hitting Shanky with the Claymore. And a nice little fun touch was this, that was Jinder Mahal selling of looking like he was going to get impaled by the sword. I guess that was funny. The promo that followed was meh. It was, again, McIntyre going on some odd history lesson about, I don't know, something Scottish. and the sword. Again, it's the storyline that nobody really wants, and nobody really wants to see continue. But we're getting it. The thing is, we wanted this rivalry going, but we wanted it in the context of a world title, you know, and we wanted Heath Slater involved in this situation again because we want a 3MB reunion. What we didn't want is them fighting over a bike now / a sword. It literally makes no sense in anyone's mind, and whoever says that they're enjoying this storyline is lying. All right, they are lying. I'm done. We then got the debut of the most watched TV show in history. It is Moist TV, hosted by the one and only Johnny Drip Morrison, America's Most Wanted. And I've used the word moist too many times in a single sentence there, but that's what we're going with. And you know what? I like this segment. It was fun. So we had Miz come out. There was a bit of seeds planting that Morrison and Miz aren't together. Damien Priest came down to the ring. They exchanged a little bit with Miz. He pushed him into a pond, and then they were going to have a match. That was the gist of it all. But you know what? Thinking back on this rivalry between Priest and Miz started all the way back at Royal Rumble. Mustn't forget that. That's been like 8 months. These two have been feuding on and off, and I'm hoping it comes to a complete end. I hope the Moist TV was the last time we see them in the ring together, because we know Priest is going with Sheamus, and it seems like WWE has planted a couple of seeds with Morrison and Miz, especially the part where Miz reveals that he was never injured in his career and that he was actually cleared weeks ago. And Morrison clicked a little bit. It's like, but I've been pushing, you know, all over the arena in a wheelchair, and it seems like they're made up, but it's there. It's there. Anyway, the match that followed was quite a good match. We had Sheamus come out to the ring and sit on commentary, who did a decent enough job. And it was Miz taking on Damien Priest yet again. And it was probably one of their better matches. They've had great matches, zombie match included. I still think that was a fantastic match. And yeah, this was good. The key point is that Priest beat The Miz using a brogue kick, which I thought was quite a clever manipulation tactic for Damien Priest on Sheamus. And then we had Sheamus cut a promo telling him that he's basically useless and he's never going to win anything, and it's disrespect to use another man's move. And yeah, so getting in the mind of Sheamus, I'm excited for that. And yeah, what a good match, actually. You know what, it wasn't the greatest match, but it wasn't the worst match ever, and I enjoyed Moist TV despite the name. We then got, I'm thinking it was like 3-4 minute match, nothing much more than that, but it was a decent one actually. Mensor taking on Mace. The rivalry is continuing between Mace and T-Bar and Mensor and Ali. And you know what? From the little bit we did get to see before Mensor and Mace, I'm in it, hey? I'm in this little side tag team storyline. I'm liking it. WWE is doing something about the tag team division. You know, touch wood. There's wood, yeah. I'm not going to hold my breath that it's going to take away, but I'm enjoying this. I like the finish. Yes, distraction finishes are 100% in the wheelhouse of WWE, but this one made sense. And so Mace had basically Mensor pinned. The ref was distracted by Ali, which managed to get Mensor to change it over, and the 2 won, which is meaning that the chemistry between Mensor and Ali is building up, which is what you want in a tag team, of course. So yeah, I'm enjoying this little storyline for a man that's not really much invested in what's happening in the tag team division. Yeah, it was fun. I wish it went a little bit longer. We can maybe see a little bit more of the wrestlers themselves, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably be like on a kickoff show of SummerSlam, or they continue next week to the next pay-per-view. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it lands up being a number 1 contenders match. So yeah, let's see how this one plays out. I'm enjoying it though. I am indeed. We went back into the ring for our next segment, and we got a match that I was anticipating quite a bit. I enjoyed. I wanted to see it. Was Omos taking on Randy Orton, and you know what? Well done, Orton. He's put over Omos to be that dominant, aggressive man, and I'm loving it. The only draw that I had from this was the finish. It ended in a DQ after Randy tried to hit the RKO on Omos. Omos shoved him to the ring, and then AJ knocked him out. It was a cop-out, really. It was a bit of a cop-out from WWE, a way to make both guys look strong without, bringing one of the teams down. I get it. Maybe a double count-out would have been better in this situation, or, whatever happens. But anyway, AJ Styles and Omos tried to then lay the beat down on Randy Orton. Riddle came out for the save. He made AJ take a run for it and kicked Omos off the ring. Yeah, it was almost off the ring. And then helped Randy Orton up to his feet. Randy grabbed a mic and said, "Listen, Riddle, you've earned my respect. RK Bro is in." And at SummerSlam, they are taking on Omos and AJ for the tag team title. So apparently, Randy Orton has the authority to make matches at pay-per-views. That's always good to know. It is an official match, so there you go. It was later confirmed, and I know, what's his name, Jimmy Smith did say that Sonya Deville made this official, but we all know the truth. We know the truth. So yeah, I'm excited for that tag team match again. I like RK Bro. Let's see how this one pans out. We moved on to a glorified squash match, a match we saw last week as well, which was another glorified squash match, and that was Jeff Hardy taking on Karrion Kross. Much like last week, Jeff Hardy got a little bit of offense, but it wasn't enough to take out Kross, and it really baffles the mind to know why they let Hardy win the first match and then proceed to lose 2 matches in a row. I don't know. I kind of hope that Keith Lee would have come out for the save. Maybe introduce that as a storyline. They've had the one match already. It was a good match. So maybe I thought it might be a little bit smarter to have Keith Lee come on and save Jeff Hardy. At least gives Keith Lee to do something. He hasn't been on TV in 2 weeks, which is annoying. Because you know how much I love Keith Lee. So, yeah, man. That's not much else I can say about the Karrion Kross one. A completely day and night from the character we have on NXT, which you'll see on the review on the next video. But... or when I do the NXT review, rather, you'll see there's just night and day from the 2 characters. What you get on Raw is basically just there, and then what you get on NXT is the all brutal champion, really. Jeremy's going to hate me for this one, but we had our next match. It was Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH taking on Charlotte Flair and a mystery opponent. That mystery opponent was none other than Nia Jax, and she's literally brought absolutely zilch to this feud to make it more interesting. They could have literally thrown Boink the Clown there or Hornswoggle. How they could have put little Jimmy in that spot, and it probably would have made a little bit more sense than having Nia Jax do nothing. I don't know. So yeah, the match itself was pretty much a reminiscent of their first encounter that Ripley and Charlotte had. Throwing a bit of more physicality and botulism from Nia Jax. No, I'm kidding. She didn't have many botches in this one at all, actually. But it was fine. It was fun. It was alright. It wasn't mind-blasting good match. The ending was quite clever, though. Nia Jax was about to basically pin Rhea Ripley. Charlotte tagged herself in and did a natural selection on Rhea and picked up the 3 count. I guess in a way it's nice to protect Nikki Ash, not giving her 2 losses in a row. But yeah, I can't really say much about this. The chemistry between Charlotte and Nia is absolutely nothing. The chemistry between Ripley and Nia is nothing. And the chemistry between Nikki Ash and Nia was actually surprisingly decent. They had a couple of decent little encounters, but it wasn't like mind-blasting. Like there's no point that to have Nia Jax in this match is basically my point. We then got the much anticipated face-to-face Bobby Lashley and Goldberg coming into the ring together face-to-face. And listen, it's exactly what we expected, a face-to-face. Both parties are going to exchange some words. Lashley is just reassuring that this is going to be the most embarrassing thing that's ever going to happen to him in front of his child, who was at ringside as well, and his entire football team as well. Bill Goldberg telling him that this is done. It's the usual stuff. I can't really... It's literally generic promo face-to-face 101. And then it ended with Goldberg hitting a very lackluster looking spear on Lashley, if I can say so myself. It really looked like it looked like he just, over the, type of thing. It was terrible. Went out to the ring, grabbed his son, pulled his son over the barricade, and then walked to the back arena for unknown reasons. And that was it. That was the face-to-face. Again, I'm not excited about Bill Goldberg being back. I'm not excited about it being him in the world title contention. I felt like maybe they had better options. If they could have brought Brock Lesnar, I probably would have been a bit more excited than Bill Goldberg. But it's a sad situation in Raw when they can't find a decent face to face, excuse the pun, Bobby Lashley other than Drew McIntyre or Kofi Kingston, who we both knew were probably never going to beat Bobby Lashley. And the sad thing is they've got guys like Keith Lee that is sitting on the sidelines doing nothing, and possibly getting a proper opportunity, getting a proper push that he deserves. And with that face-to-face, it wrapped up the go-home show of Monday Night Raw. They've put all the stories in place for SummerSlam. From the Raw brand, we're getting a couple of matches. Of course, we're getting the tag team match of AJ Styles and Omos taking on Riddle and Randy Orton in RK Bro. We're also getting the Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal match for some unknown reason. We're getting that match at SummerSlam. We're also getting Damien Priest and Sheamus for the US title. We're getting Nikki Ash, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair for the women's title. And of course, we're getting the main event, the WWE title, the champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley taking on Goldberg. Those are the matches that we can look forward to for SummerSlam for Monday Night Raw. And they'll probably throw in a pre-match on, something like that. Maybe what else I said earlier, man? Mace and T-Bar and Mensor and Ali, just to give them some sort of exposure in and around there. Or maybe even Karrion Kross and Jeff Hardy again getting a match. I don't know how that's going to pan out. But yeah, so that's what we're going to look forward to. But we will dwell on that come Sunday on our Sunday review for SummerSlam. For now, though, to the Vaz scale, there it is. And on the Vaz scale, again, it wasn't the greatest Raw show, but it wasn't the worst Raw show ever. It was sort of somewhere in the middle. And Raw gets itself a beautiful 6.5. That's right, it is 6.5 on the Raw. Like I said, there was a few matches that I thought was, the Karrion Kross match wasn't needed. Drew McIntyre and Jinder's never needed. The women's match, the first one was alright. The tag match was even worse. It just felt like things didn't click. Tired of seeing, Miz and Priest in the ring at the same time. But on the other side, we had fantastic matches with Riddle and AJ, as well as Orton and Omos. Those were great. Albeit a very generic face-off, it was really fun to actually watch Bill Goldberg and Bobby Lashley in the ring together facing off. Kudos to MVP for helping that one move along quite nicely. So all in all, not a bad show. We got the reunion of RK Bro, which is what we wanted. So yeah, that is the review. Another one in the bag. Please remember, if you haven't done so, subscribe, click notify, and until next time, peace and chicken grease.